Welcome home, this is Tukasa. Today's concept is very leadership, Italian, queer, licking your face. Today I want to do kind of like a city downy video speaking about my goals for 2025. I'm not going to be too hustle culture about it. I'm not going to be talking about your winter arc or whatever. I'm not really that kind of person. I think it's really important to be relaxed and coming from somewhere very comfortable if you're going to be thinking about what you're going to do in your life. So I've got myself a nice cuppa and also this sourdough pastry that my friend got me in a very cute box. I think it's from Sourdough Sophia. I'm not too sure about the viral things, but I'm assuming it's like a viral place. I don't know, coming from my friend, I think it might be. Ooh, very cute, very neat. It's got really nice lines on the top. I don't know what's inside. It's like a whole bread loaf. Look, that's so cute. Okay. What is that? Hazelnut inside or something? Chestnut? I don't know. It's really good. One thing that I think is really important that you should do if you think about your goals is to really visualize and have like a clear idea of what you want exactly in your mind. So I have taken some time to look at Pinterest, but I think that's the extent of how like manifestation girly this is going to be. Yeah, so I've gotten some pictures that make me feel really happy and kind of motivated, makes me feel like I want to live life. For reference, this is the whole list of everything we're going to be going through in this video, and hopefully you can come up with your ideas about what you think of each of these topics when you hear about my thoughts on it. Obviously it's going to be quite personal, so it's probably not going to be that relatable to everyone, but my core values are in creativity and also just being authentic and, you know, taking it slow, I think is the kind of person I want to be. I'm not saying that's who I am. I'm quite an anxious person, but yeah, I've built these goals with that in mind. So firstly, for health and fitness, I've got an image of Momo from Twice. I'm not a stan or anything. I'm not like a massive fan of Twice. I do like some of their songs, but I'm not like a big fan. It's just that I have been a big fan of Momo specifically. I don't know if I like want to be her or want to sleep with her. She's one of those people, like she's really hot. One of the reasons why is because she has like a killer bod. Just having like enough curves, enough power to do things that you want. Like, she's a really good dancer, I think. That's the kind of body that I want to have, and I also want to be able to see that change in me physically with my eyes this year. I think like I'm not like the most unhealthy person, but I haven't really thought of it in terms of aesthetics before, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing to do. It's just that I've always been careful to not like put too much stress on how I exercise and things like that, because I don't want to get into like eating disorder territory. Again, I have like a fear of going there because I do have like problems with my body image. But this year I think I want to focus on looking good. I think it's, you know, quite dangerous to have like a K-pop idol as your goal. But I think out of the K-pop idols that I know, she like has a good body. So I don't think she's doing any over dieting. I don't know if I'll be able to achieve it in 1 year. I do want to keep going to the gym. I'm gonna say 3 times a week. And one thing that I really enjoy at the gym, I found out, is the sauna. I'm a Japanese person, I love baths, but we don't have a bathtub in where I'm living right now, and I've been kind of satisfying that desire for like getting hot and sweaty by going to the sauna. So I'm going to treat that as like a reward that I get to have if I go to the gym. I'm also going to do 1 day in the week just doing core exercises at home. So yeah, in summary, I really want to keep going to the gym, be able to see my gains with my eyes. Oh, and also one thing that I've like decided about the gym is that I want to invest in like a good gym. It's quite expensive, but I don't think I can keep going to like pure gym. Like, no offense. Something about the busyness and the dirtiness, like the mankiness of it, really puts me off and I can never keep up the habit. I really like to go to a good gym this year, and I think I'm gonna touch on like how I'm gonna think about my finances in the finances bit. But that's sort of reflecting how I want to think about money this year. If you guys can think of anyone that you would see as like fitness goals or like body goals, I don't know. Let me know if you can think of one that's fitting all the requirements. Healthy, also sexy, because I really want to know more references or people to be inspired by. Moving on to travel, I want to go to Barcelona. I'm going to just say Barcelona because I can't say it. In the summer, I think. So I don't really do much traveling on my own, not even as a family. I think because we tend to go to Japan every few years, like all of our money gets spent going to Tokyo and that's it. But when I was a student, I did go to Venice and Ibiza. To go to the Biennale and also some exhibitions that my artist friend was doing, and that was really nice. I didn't go to like the party rave thing in Ibiza. I went to like the inner parts of it, and that was really nice because some locals showed me around and very nice nature. Like, they're hiding it on purpose, I think. I want to go to Barcelona. I want to see the what is it called? Sagrada Familia? Hold on. Sagrada Familia, right? Sagrada Familia? I don't know, I'm not gonna attempt it. Yeah, so I want to see that. My friends said that it's beautiful, and I really need to go somewhere sunny in the summer. But one thing I guess that I've always had as like an ideal, like it's not something I can achieve now, but I think the reason why I don't go traveling that much is because I have this dream of having my work take me places, and it doesn't have to be like, you know, the famous musician going touring. That's not the kind of extent it has to be, but I do know like loads of indie artists, just like the one I mentioned in Ibiza, doing exhibitions all around the world. I also know indie bands who tour all around Europe and do their thing. I've always had that as like a goal of mine, that I'd like to do that myself. So I do want to go to Barcelona, but I do want to try and do like a live show there. I don't think I have like enough fans, if any fans at all at the moment. So I don't think that I'm going to be able to like sell tickets or anything, but I just think just to kind of get into that energy of going places to do my work, I'd like to do a live show in Barcelona somewhere. I'm sure there's like a small venue that I can play live at. I know that I will be going to Japan in 2026, so I won't be going next year. Yeah, I guess Barcelona will be it. Yeah, and maybe if things go well, maybe I will be able to do live shows in other cities. Like, I'm not gonna say exactly what, but you know, I've had people mentioning things like that as ideas, and I might want to take them up on that. You know, there's loads of cities in Europe. I'm the UK, like, I forget that the UK is so close to all of these countries, and there are so many cities around where you can do loads of different things, lots of different opportunities. So yeah, I'm open to that next year, if the universe wants to give it to me. I also know a lot of people from Barcelona, so like most of the people that tell me they're Spanish, when we first meet, end up being Catalan in some kind of way. So, you know, I feel like if you know enough people from one place, there's probably some sort of connection there, as we like to call it, in Galibasho. So yeah, I'd like to go there. I also specifically wanted to be solo. There's just something about having time all for yourself. I love some alone time and just seeing the city for what it is on your own. Like, I don't really like to do the tourist stuff, but I just like to hang around like the neighborhoods and see what's going on and try and live as if I'm a local. Obviously I'm not, but I like to kind of have that fantasy of living in that city for a few days. I guess that this video is sort of like acting as a trailer for what's gonna come. I would like to do like a vlog of me going traveling or doing all these things. But yes, to travel, I'm going to need some money. I'm going to need some cash. So we're going to talk about career and finance. I am going to be real. I'm not going to be talking about the specific goals that I have for my career because I don't know who's watching and I would like some big change in my career. I feel like you understand where I'm going with this, but that's alleged. I'm not saying it on record. I won't go into detail there, but in terms of finance, I think the biggest goal for me is to not be stressed out about money. I think it's relatable if you come from like a family that have struggled with money in the past. You're just always a bit on edge about money, and considering I'm in my 20s, I think I'm doing okay at it, but I just like to continue like undoing that relationship I have with money and being okay with, you know, spending it, because like the reality is I'm not in poverty and I'm comfortable enough. I have my minimum savings and I can spend it and invest it into things that I think are worthwhile. I have been doing that over the last year, kind of investing into recording, producers and engineers and things like that, whereas before I would kind of force myself to do everything on my own. And I do think there's like this, you know, trend of like YouTubers and these people selling courses on how to be a music producer and all these things, saying you can do everything on your own, you can do DIY everything in your house, in your bedroom. But I think it's not true. Like, music is meant to be done with a lot of different people, so I think it's quite clever to put some money into making the stuff that really matters to you. And so I'm glad that I put money into that, and I'm very happy with the results, so I'd like to keep going with that. This year I'm going to be a bit different about it, but I guess I'll go into that in the next section, which is about my lifestyle. And by lifestyle I mean me as a musician and kind of me getting into the role of a musician, because that's my passion. So to summarize, how I'm going about the finances is I'm gonna always have this minimum amount of savings, so that I can be comfortable enough to invest in experiences, invest in things that I think are worth paying for. And like, that's something easy to say, but it's quite is something you need to really think about, I think, because we live in a world that's full of temptations and full of messaging being like, you need to buy this thing to make your life better. And so you really need to like take a step back and be like, is this something I really want to buy? Is this something I want to physically have? Is this something I really want to spend my time on? Because I mean, that's kind of what money is at the end of the day. Just being mindful about what I spend on. And also on the topic of career, something that I want to be careful about is not to think of my passion, like me making music, as something that I want as a career. Like, it's quite difficult to articulate, so I would like to do like a separate video on it one day, but I don't want to think of it as my job. I do want to be very serious about it, but it's not my job, because when it's my job it turns into something very stressful and really unproductive for me as an artist. So that's why I'm not really touching on the musician side of things in this section. I'm just letting the South London noises pass. If you have the liberty and freedom to do so, let me know what you want as a job next year and what kind of, you know, different avenue you'd like to go into, if you can, because why not? You have the freedom to do so. You're not online putting things out in the world with your face on it and where your colleagues can find it. I'm very scared about it. Yeah, going back to the previous topic about me as a musician, I'm going to move on to the lifestyle section. So in terms of me as a musician, I mean, last year was really big for me because I was going through this whole like denial of like, I'm not a musician. And that was like a whole thing, because I think it's because I went to like this music specialist school, and a lot of the friends that I had there were really classical trained musicians. And they had this really serious orchestra, more serious than they needed to be. Like, you know how we are as teens, we think that like we're doing like our life's work when we're like 15. I wasn't like getting bullied or anything, but like a lot of the people were projecting, as teens do, their like insecurities about being a musician. And whenever I was doing my rock things, people would be like, that's not real music. Or like, you need to know like everything about music to do music, On top of that, I did have a lot of insecurity over what art meant to me. So I graduated art school and got a fine art degree, and you know, I'll always define myself as an artist. I don't think I'm just a musician. I think I do a lot of different things, but I think it's quite natural for artists to be like that. It's, you know, most of the artists I know in my life, they do everything. They have tried everything and they have like their specialities, but that's like come from a whole life full of experimenting a lot of different things. And I think that I am just doing that. I'm just exploring what I feel most natural in, and I mean, it's turned out to be music, I think. And also, like, doing music is an eclectic thing for me, because we live in a time where you have to do everything. You're not trying to like get a label to see you straight away. I mean, it used to be like that maybe like 10, 20 years ago, but it's not the same anymore. So you do end up doing a lot of creative things alongside just the music, and I actually really enjoy that. And I feel like all of my little creative itches are getting some needed attention from doing music, and that's why I'm doing it. It's not because I'm necessarily like a super duper talented who has perfect pitch, you know, I'm not one of those people. But I mean, I do feel the most, I don't know, I feel happiest when I'm doing songwriting. I think it's the most engaging for me, and that's why I'm here. Again, I should really make a different video about this. But anyway, on the lifestyle, I really want to focus on understanding who I am as a musician next year. So this year was really much about just like starting it and just putting light to the engine of my creativity as a songwriter. But this year I really want to understand where I stand. You know, because I tried my hand at promotion and things, I think there's a need to define yourself. And I never want to pigeonhole myself into a genre, but I do want to kind of understand more about what makes me make the things that I do. I think that's really hard for me because I get inspiration from all these different places. So I really need a lot of time, and I need to have really clear intentions on like doing that. So I need a whole year to be like, I am trying to figure myself out as a musician. So I think, yeah, this is like the bulk of the video. Like, I think this is the main goal for me. So how I'm going to do that? I'm going to try and be in music courses continuously this year. So I've already booked myself for a vocal course, and I encourage you to also do it now. Book it now. Book the thing you want to do next year now. And get excited. I think you can kind of tell with the kind of voice that I have when I'm speaking, but I'm not very good at projecting my voice. I'm not really confident about how I sing on my songs. Yeah, like I think consistently the, you know, improvement points for my songs has been vocals. I'd also like to maybe do some guitar lessons after that. I've always been a self-taught guitarist, but I'm in that kind of zone where I don't really know what to teach myself. I have like enough music theory knowledge, but I haven't really sat down and gotten into the really intensive practice routines, and I think it's time that I got like a teacher to do it. And you know, this is one of the things that I wanted to do in relation to my finance goals as well. Like before I used to be like, I don't need a teacher to do that, I can just do it on my own, I have Google. But you know, I think teachers exist for a reason, and not just teachers, but institutions for these things exist for a reason. You can find a lot of friends, a lot of collaborators there. Which moves me on to the next section, family and friends. So yeah, the main goal that I want to, you know, focus on for friends is I want to find more creative collaborators. Unfortunately, this was the same goal that I had this year. I feel like I've kept saying this year and next year. I mean, like, you know what I mean. Like, I met some really cool people on Bumble Friends, but a lot of them have just kind of fizzled out. And we didn't really get on properly. So I think what I need to do is I really need to be in the right places. I don't think Bumble or any of the apps, I mean, it's the same as dating, it's not really going to be that great to find really nice people. So I'm going to be proactive in my free time to go to the places that interest me. I think that's what it is. Like, you just need to do the thing that makes you happy to find the right people, the right environment. And I think that's kind of what people mean when they say like, you have to love yourself first. Like, basically you just need to be living your life in the way you want first to find the right people. So I would like to go to events and things, and I guess the classes are the main thing. I think I'd like to be in like an environment full of students who have the same goals as me. Represent the kind of friends I want. I've put this picture up of Kuranosuke and Tsukimi-chan from Kuragehime. I really love this manga because they're like unlikely friends who end up doing really creative things together. So they want to set up a fashion brand. I'm not going to go into detail of why, but each person in the friend group ends up contributing something really important. And I think like that's the kind of magical meeting I want next year. So that's why I put that as the image. I feel like I'm a bit hyper, and I think it's because I'm having like a lot of sugar in this. Yeah, sorry, but I guess it's good to talk when you're hyper, I don't know. And in terms of family, I think this is a hard one to articulate, but this year I think the thing that I learned is that we need space as parent and child. So like my dad, I live with my dad, and he went on like a solo trip to Paris after our like family trip got cancelled. And I think he really needed that time, and it was really nice actually that he was taking like the initiative to do his own thing. When you're a child living with your parent in your 20s, I feel like you haven't really had that like proper transition where you like move out and your parents realize that the child is growing up. So I think this year I want to kind of be mindful of that gap between parent and child, but also taking time to spend some quality events together. I think the balance to find there is to kind of celebrate seasonal things. I feel like, so in Japanese we say gyoji, but all of these events that we have seasonally, they're like opportunities for you to get together, right, when you're adults. You are busy all the time. I feel like I'm just stating the obvious, but I think like I finally understand the value of that now. And I'd really like to also be in touch with my Japanese side and celebrate all of the holidays that we have. We really love our seasons, so we have like a celebration from like each time of the year. Yeah, this year I'd really like to hit all of the boxes for that. So obviously the new year. March we will do like the Girls' Day. Like I'm not married, so we can do that. Then we have my dad's birthday, Tanabata in July. Moon watching. I like to do moon watching again. Lots of things that I can do in the year. Taking the initiative to celebrate those things with my family. Going into personal development, I found out something quite interesting. I did a DNA test thing, that like famous one, 23andMe. And I found out that like I'm genetically inclined to have depression. And I'm just like, yeah, I knew it. But also I guess it's like quite significant to get confirmation on that. Just being real about the fact that I'm gonna feel down like a lot. I'm not being funny, like I have been diagnosed to have depression. So I think I'd also like to find a therapist if I can. I think it's quite hard to find a therapist, isn't it? Like I'm already kind of trying to find a therapist, and it's quite hard. It's quite hard to find like someone that you actually vibe with quite well. I'm not going with the NHS route because it has failed me already. I mean, to be honest, I've had like great support from the NHS when it comes to mental health, but also lots of really logistical things getting in the way and slowing things down, and it just makes me even more depressed to think about when I'm down. So being on the search for a therapist, and if I can find a match, try having a few sessions is going to be a very concrete goal for me. But I guess one thing also is that I want to be less hesitant to be myself, and I think I got on the right tracks for that this year. But even me doing YouTube right now and filming myself speaking at the camera is kind of a step to do that. I just really want to force myself to just say things as I feel. And because I'm such an introvert, I can't really get that skill going out all the time and speaking to people. I've also kind of just missed the time period to do that. So I'm hoping that I can get used to it through making videos. Yeah, not gonna lie, just saying that out loud is making me feel a lot of things. Yeah, just realizing how much I just like don't speak on how I feel all the time. But anyway, finally the gratitude bit. So I'd like to go to Vipassana again. I don't know if I'm saying that right. There's a lot of words that I must have really mispronounced in this video. Vipassana is like a 10-day meditation course where you just sit down and meditate for the majority of it, and you're not allowed to speak to people, you're not even allowed to read books, you're not allowed to take notes, you're just with yourself meditating for 10 days. I've done it before and it like literally changed my life. I don't know, I feel like it's really hard to believe when anyone says that anything changed their life. Like I can genuinely say that for this thing, so I'd like to do it again. If I can kind of promote this Vipassana thing to people, I think it's really good because it just gets you out of everything that's going on in life and you just take the time to pause. And like even if you do try to pause on the weekends or whatever, it's not the same. Like you're distracting yourself with other things, and I don't want to be like those people who are like, everything is a distraction, but like it's true. Like you don't have anything to entertain yourself in that room. It really makes you reflect in a very different way, and I kind of miss that feeling now, so I just like to try again. And being that reflective sort of makes you have gratitude automatically for the things that you already have. So that's why I put Vipassana as the goal for gratitude. So yeah, that's it for my list of goals for 2025. YouTube is a very new thing for me, so this is like the first time doing a City Downy video. It's the first time doing any kind of video, but I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's really important right now to just have a lot of authentic content out there. Like I miss the time when people would just speak and not have like such a tight structure to their videos. So I hope you enjoyed it too. Let me know if anything that I spoke about interests you, because I'm trying to see what kind of videos might be good to film in the future. If anyone's out there watching, please let me know. And yeah, I guess it kind of goes into the kind of thing you can expect to see in the next year. Have a very happy holiday everyone, and thank you very much for watching. I hope this helped you in some ways to kind of come up with your own ideas about what you want next year. Let me know if you have any specific goals, any ideas that you got. Like and subscribe and all that stuff, and see you again.